The Lion of Allah, the story of Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was born in the sacred sanctuary of the Kaaba, the only man in history to be blessed with such an honor. His mother, Fatima bint Asad, found refuge near the Kaaba's walls when labor pains began. As she entered the house of Allah, the wall miraculously opened, and she gave birth to a child who would one day carry the sword of justice and the flame of wisdom to illuminate the path of Islam. Ali radiallahu anhu opened his eyes not just into a house of prayer, but into a world on the brink of change. The boy would be raised in the house of his cousin, the yet-to-be-proclaimed prophet of Allah, Muhammad, peace be upon him. From the earliest days, Ali radiallahu anhu was different. He never bowed to an idol, never uttered a lie, and his childhood was filled with quiet reflection and keen observation. When the revelation descended upon Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the cave of Hira, it was young Ali radiallahu anhu, only 10 years old, who first accepted the message from among the children. In a time when Islam was whispered secretly, Ali radiallahu anhu stood tall beside the Prophet, peace be upon him. When the Prophet invited his family to Islam during the early days of Dawah, only Ali radiallahu anhu stood by him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, looking at the few who believed, declared, Ali radiallahu anhu is my brother, my inheritor, and my caliph among you. From then on, the lives of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Ali radiallahu anhu were forever intertwined. Ali radiallahu anhu grew under the wings of revelation. When the Quraysh plotted to assassinate the Prophet, peace be upon him, on the night of hijrah, it was Ali radiallahu anhu who took the Prophet's place in bed, wrapped in his green mantle, ready to sacrifice his life. The enemies surrounded the house with drawn swords, yet Allah blinded them. Ali, with unwavering trust in his Lord, lay peacefully until morning. After the Prophet, peace be upon him, migrated to Medina, Ali radiallahu anhu was tasked with returning the belongings of the Quraysh to their rightful owners, a testimony to his honesty. Later, he joined the Prophet, peace be upon him, in Medina, where a new phase of Islamic history began. Ali's radiallahu anhu bravery knew no equal. In the Battle of Badr, he was among the first to duel the enemy champions. With swift strikes, he felled his opponents, echoing the thunder of truth. In Uhud, when many companions fled under the pressure of the enemy, Ali radiallahu anhu remained firm, defending the Prophet, peace be upon him, with his sword and body. In the Battle of Khandaq, when the ferocious warrior Amr ibn Abd Wud challenged the Muslims, it was Ali radiallahu anhu who rose. The Prophet, peace be upon him, declared, the entire faith is going to confront the entire disbelief. Their duel shook the earth. With a mighty cry of Allahu Akbar, Ali radiallahu anhu struck down the arrogant enemy. The Muslims rejoiced, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, embraced him, saying, Ali's radiallahu anhu's strike on that day is greater than the worship of all jinn and men. Ali radiallahu anhu wasn't just a warrior. He was a fountain of knowledge. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is its gate. His understanding of the Quran, his eloquence, and his deep insight into justice and leadership were unmatched. He lived modestly, often hungry, yet never allowing his hand to reach what was not his. He wrote down revelation, taught fiqh, resolved disputes, and acted as the Prophet's most trusted advisor. At Khaybar, the Muslims were unable to penetrate the fortress. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Tomorrow, I will give the flag to a man who loves Allah and his messenger, and Allah and his messenger love him. Everyone hoped for the honor. The next day, the Prophet, peace be upon him, called, Where is Ali? Ali radiallahu anhu, suffering from an eye infection, came forth. The Prophet, peace be upon him, healed him with his blessed saliva, handed him the flag, and victory was written by Ali radiallahu anhu's sword and unshakable faith. Ali radiallahu anhu was married to Fatima radiallahu anha, the beloved daughter of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Their marriage was one of purity and piety. They lived in simplicity, often going hungry, yet they never complained. Their home was filled with dhikr, Quran, and sincere love. They had 2 sons, Hassan and Hussein, who were called the leaders of the youth of paradise. Ali radiallahu anhu's love for Fatima was profound. When she passed away, he was broken, burying her silently in the night as per her wish. He never married another woman while she was alive, and after her death, he often sat near her grave, weeping softly. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, Ali radiallahu anhu was among those who washed his body and buried him. He was struck with grief, but remained calm. The matter of caliphate passed first to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, then to Umar radiallahu anhu, and then to Uthman radiallahu anhu, all of whom Ali radiallahu anhu supported sincerely. He gave wise counsel and stood as a pillar of the early caliphate. After the tragic assassination of Uthman radiallahu anhu, the Muslims turned to Ali radiallahu anhu to become the 4th caliph. He accepted reluctantly, for the times were tense and the Ummah was fractured. His caliphate was marked by great trials, the civil wars of Jamal and Siffin. Despite the pain, Ali radiallahu anhu always sought peace. His sword was raised only when necessary, and his heart bled at the division among the believers. In his governance, Ali radiallahu anhu was just beyond comparison. He removed corrupt governors, appointed the righteous, and restructured the treasury with strict honesty. He lived in a simple house, often eating bread and salt. He wore patched clothes, and when he would walk at night to inspect the welfare of his people, no one recognized him. Yet, when he gave khutbah, even the most eloquent were silenced by the beauty of his words. Ali radiallahu anhu wrote deeply spiritual advice in his letters to companions and governors. His famous letter to Malik al-Ashta is a timeless guide for just leadership. In it, he wrote, "Let your heart be filled with mercy, love, and kindness towards your people, for they are either your brothers in faith or your equals in humanity." But the enemies of Islam never rested. One night in the city of Kufa, as Ali radiallahu anhu walked to the masjid for far prayer, he was struck on the head by a poisoned sword in sujud by the Khawarij rebel Ibn Muljam. Blood poured from his noble head. He whispered, "Fuztuwa Rabul Kaaba, by the Lord of the Kaaba, I have succeeded." Even in pain, he forbade his sons from seeking revenge unjustly. He forgave his killer and requested that justice be served, not vengeance. As his soul prepared to depart, he reminded his children and the Ummah to fear Allah, pray on time, uphold justice, and never abandon the Quran. With his final breath, he met his Lord, a martyr, a wali, a caliph, a scholar, a warrior, a loving husband and father, and a gate to the city of knowledge. Ali's radiallahu anhu legacy lives on. His sayings still inspire. His courage still echoes. His justice still guides. He is remembered not just as the 4th caliph, but as the embodiment of prophetic character. His name, Ali, means high, exalted, and indeed his rank is high in the eyes of Allah.